till the rest is gone. Then she made a mess all on the bed that I was resting on. Rub me till the stress is gone. Smoke it till the press is gone. They put me in the center. I'm the one that they investing on. Pull up on your block and I spin it and spin it and spin it again till I empty it. Spitting on niggas, they mad and they envious. Bunch of niggas
Can't
got
spell.
my flow, I invented it. Stacking my dough, I ain't spending it. Stacking it. Stick my thing on a nigga. Stick my thing on a nigga.
Yinzers, welcome to episode 122.
Oof, 122. It's like the temperature at work.
Couple more days. I don't know if you realize this, Mike, but a few more days of the show, we are going to be a quarter of the way to 500. Quarter of the way to 500 episodes.
Quarter of the way.
Yeah.
Quarter. Feel oh. That's
Really,
a long way to go, but it's like we've done a lot of episodes, but when you put it that way, it doesn't feel that long.
You're right. But you got to think how things played out through the first year. There was a hiatus at first when we came back for the second season. Things weren't exactly the way they are now as far as format of the show. We were still only doing 2 1-hour shows a week. We were doing a 20-minute
Recap
show, a wrap up. And then the other two, this was even later. We were just doing the 2 shows originally.
Yeah.
Then we added the wrap up show. Then we added the Throwback Thursday. Then we added the music. So, we didn't count all of that towards the shows. I mean, a little here and there, just depending on what it was. But we, if we would have went hard from day one and had 5 shows a week, and it was on the road that we're on now, we'd have almost 300 shows probably.
Oh, easily. Easily. And God, imagine back then that first run doing a show a day.
Yeah, right.
I've been wild.
Yeah.
And that's what, oh God, I had to sit there and edit every episode, like hardcore, get in there and edit. Now with the stuff we're using now, it's quicker and easier. Oh, I would have chucked a computer out a window. Yeah, it would have been pretty. We find out the run would have ended sooner.
But we did. We had a shortened first season. There was that little bit of time between the 2 seasons. So like I said, if it would have been consistent the whole way through, so I mean, we'd be where we'd be, and a quarter of the way to 500 is not bad. You figure next week we're going to be at 125.
Yeah.
And that just, and like I was saying, I mean, we're on the format that we're on now. So once the season 3 kicks off, this time from next year, we're
God,
serious shows under our belt, man.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be and who knows what season 3 brings.
That's right.
If you say 2 a day, I'm going to kill you. Kill you.
We'll talk.
No, we won't. Not about that.
We're gonna have to set you up some kind of cot at work so you could get, you could get naps.
Yeah, like I do more work with this show than I do at my real job.
Yeah,
that's not fair. I make more money there than here. Once I start making more money doing this than there, yeah, I'll take the cot to work and nap.
Have your boss get a hold of me. We have to have a serious talk about your sleep schedule at work.
Just speaking of that, I had to be.
Don't worry, I'll write you a note.
Okay, I had to go to work a half hour earlier than normal today. I'm cranky.
That's always tough, even if it's just a half hour. That time taken from you have to switch for work it's always tough.
It is. Like I'm already up at that point anyway. But that's my lay in bed, stare at the ceiling time.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You need lay in the bed, stare at the ceiling time. Couple of things to start off, Mike. Pirates, they win again. I got to talk about them. I said if they win, I'll talk about them. 2 in a row so far in a 3-game series over the first place Brewers. They win again 8-7. Excuse me. Reynolds hits a solo jack in bottom of the 9th to start the rally. Pirates come back and win 8-7. Game 3 today at 12:35 wraps up the set. Then they'll be on their way. They'll be on their way to Baltimore to play the Orioles for 3. and that starts a 10-game road trip. I think after Baltimore, they head out to Arizona and then San Francisco. So that's that.
The most exciting thing that happened with the Buccos recently was I just saw it on Twitter. This kid, he looks like a teenager, like a young teenager. He's getting his picture taken with Bob Nutting, and on the caption of the photo of the video is like, "For the Yinzers." Dude unbuttons his shirt, pulls his shirt back, hugs Nutting, and says, "Sell the team."
I thought you were gonna say he had a Two Dum Yinzers shirt on.
Nope, he had "Sell the team" on. Nutting looked at it and was like, "Oh, trying not to be angry."
What are you gonna do? You know?
Perfect. Kid's a hero. Kid's a legend. He's never gonna have to buy a drink in Pittsburgh.
What do you do? What do you do if you're Bob Nutting? You have a kid.
Yeah, you can't, because if
you
you say something, if you do something, if you overtly act mad, you're just gonna compound your issues.
Yeah.
It was great. I love it. The kid's a hero.
I saw the picture. I did see that picture. I didn't pay much attention to the story because I don't pay much attention to Bob Nutting. But that's really cool.
I loved it. I love it.
Happy that kid did that.
Kid's my hero. I'm gonna get a tattoo of him right here on my forearm.
I'll call
Stick Man.
I'll call him today, right after the show. I'll meet you over there.
Now he'd be like, "Man, that might be too creepy." He's like, you're on your own on that one.
The Hall of Fame game tonight. Football season unofficially kicks off. We got the Raiders and Jaguars tonight.
Yes.
Football, which at this point, a lot of people are chomping at the bit. I'm going to try to catch this game. I want to see a little football. Also, we have 9 days. 9 days from right now, the Seattle Seahawks will be in town.
Yes.
Taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers next Saturday at 7 o'clock. So it's almost here, man.
Almost here. Real quick, back to the Jacksonville game. Trevor Lawrence will not be playing. It's kind of disappointing. I kind of want to see him play, see how he'll do in the second season, but
yeah,
it's only one preseason game. So Steelers game, Seahawks. I was just reading. Remember Artie Burns?
Yeah.
Had that great rookie year with the Steelers and then kind of fell off. More or less, he had to help. He had to raise his siblings. I think their parents died or something like that. So he took on that role, and his play, deteriorated with other responsibilities. But now he's out in Seattle, and I was just reading him and another cornerback are giving Seattle's first team wide receivers all the trouble in the world.
Of course they are.
And they have a pretty damn good receiving core. So it's nice to see, it'd be nice to see if Artie Burns can get a, nice little renaissance of his career going on, because he seems like that type of person that you want to succeed. That you would like to, it'd be a great story too, come back and,
I want to be honest, I thought he's been out of the league for a couple years, but you know what? Good for him.
No, he's been floating around because, he had, you had that first round pedigree. You're going to be
right.
You got years to go until you're really out of the league.
And he never had injuries, has he?
No, it was just that's like big. Stuff with playing, but it wouldn't surprise me, if you're thrust into that role, having to take care of your siblings and more or less turn into their parent overnight. That's going to take a long time to
right,
get used to that. So hopefully, I'd like to see him have a nice little late career renaissance. I always liked Artie. I liked the pick when we had it because he had the most raw potential of all the corners taken in that first round.
And we needed it. We needed a first round corner at the time.
Yeah, and he played great. In his first year, he was damn good. Everyone's like, all right, we got our guy. And then, he fell off, and then you didn't find out until after he was gone, what happened.
I forgot what it was like to have a corner that I really liked until Joe Hayden got here.
Oh, yeah. I liked when we had Ike Taylor.
I would have liked Ike better if he would have had hands. But you know what I mean? Is an all-around cornerback. I think that was the guy that I've been missing my whole life in Pittsburgh. At least go back to the 90s. I just I always thought, man, it'd be something. Just get a good corner that could do these things. It could be a shutdown, could get interceptions, playmaker. And Joe Hayden was that, man. I really enjoyed that time he was here. For some reason he can't decide if he likes us or the Browns, which is fucking crazy to me. But
well, he's the 32 or like 31 other teams still haven't signed him, so that tells you something there.
Right.
What the league feels about him.
Yeah, I mean, he did good. There was nothing last year that would have had me thinking, that this guy would have trouble signing anywhere.
Yeah, you can tell
his age. How he's a little bit
older. It's his age, but you can tell he lost the step.
Yeah,
in the past year or two, but I can hear my Ewok in the background talking to himself. He was up late partying last night, so he's just finally waking up. But but you like Hayden, he's that guy, you can bring him in as he doesn't have to be your 1 or 2 or even 3. He'd be a good number 4 corner, play on the outside in a pinch if you need him. And he has the smarts to where he can hide that lost step. And if you have a good scheme, you can hide him in that, with that loss of speed.
I'd sign him. I mean, if I was,
I would too here, but I think there comes a time when you have to move on from players, and that's the one thing like the Steelers have always done. They will move on even if it's a year too soon. They'd rather move on a year too soon than a year too late, and I think this is what they're doing. They anticipation of we bring him back, he does well. What if he wants to come back? We get the pressure. We fall into the pressure of wanting to bring him back, and he's not as good. So it's better just to move on that year early. Go with what you have now because you have to go with the future. You can't the league moves on. You have to move on. It sucks when you lose a fan favorite and a good player, but you got to keep moving. Train keeps moving.
I like the argument. I think that, I think your point's valid. However, if it was a problem, it really wasn't a problem. We were bad for the past couple of years, but it was never the cornerback's problem. It was never Joe Hayden's problem. I can see if we were this thriving team who had to shed the player because we're moving forward and we're making big splash moves because we're getting ready to make a nice playoff run where we think that we're a championship contender, which I don't think that's the case. And for somebody like Joe Hayden, who has a good, he could have been on a nice 1-2 year. I'm sure. But he's not playing anywhere. So, I mean, I can't say that I'm sure he would look something else. So we could have put him on a 1-2 year, give him a little decent amount of money, let him play corner. And like the thing I mean is, like I said, we're not exactly thriving at this point. A lot of people are putting us right around at 500.
Yeah.
So, I would have no problem with keeping him around another year or two just because he is that veteran. And if he does move down the depth chart, he can help younger guys, blah, 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 and things like that. But it's going to be real interesting, Mike. It really is. I very, 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 very anxious, very curious to see what goes on this year, man.
Me too, but like I'm interested to see, like, Akilo Witherspoon came on last year. Cam Sutton's coming on. We brought in Levi Wallace. I want to roll with those 3, and then the guys we have behind them. I want Arthur Millette, James Pierre, God. Who's the other cornerback we had from Michigan State? He's been in the league for about like 3 years now. Justin Lane. I want those guys to battle. We have our top 3, and I want those bottom 3 to sort themselves out. Let's go for the future. You have to move on. We got that the 7th round pick last year who was playing corner and safety. His name's escaping me right now, but I want to move on with these new players. It's just you have to move on. If we can get rid of Joey Porter, who's been a Steeler from day one, we can move on from an ex-Cleveland Brown. You got to. You have to move on. Franco Harris retired somewhere else. You got to move on.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't disagree. I could have seen them sticking around another year. So another story in the NFL, switch, same division, former Baltimore wide receiver Marquise Brown. He gets arrested yesterday for criminal speeding down in North Phoenix.
Yeah.
It said in the article they didn't even have the speed that he was going.
I want to know, how fast is that? Is that like 10 over, 20 over, 30?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
It seems like it would be a judgment call on whichever officer you're dealing with,
Yeah, was he going 5 over in a school zone? I want to know what it is to, should I be outraged or be like, you know what? Hey, I've done that before and I just never got caught.
Absolutely, because criminal speeding, I'm thinking, if you're on a highway and then it's 75, it'd probably be you going about 125, being reckless, maybe. I don't know. It's they didn't really get too far into the details.
Yeah, that's what I want to know what it is. Should I be outraged or not? Because, speed limit on the highway where I live, it used to be like 65, and we go like, see how fast we can go, like 95, 100 down there.
Right.
So, I did it. Not saying it's right, it was wrong, but no, is he's like you said, is he going 100 zooming in and out of traffic? Yeah, that's a different thing.
Right. But he was a Raven, and now he's a Cardinal. So, I don't care. I thought the story was pretty crazy though. Like you were saying though. I mean, what is criminal? I've never heard of criminal speeding before.
Me either. It's like they're speeding. That's it. It's crime.
Right.
It's probably just putting the language on there to make him look bad.
I can see that.
I can see that too, because reporters, they will find players they don't like and go after them for every little thing. So
absolutely.
Now, if I find out, he was driving like an idiot, yeah, I'll be like, oh yeah, they were right. But right now, I'm Team Hollywood.
Yeah, I never had a problem
because I'm a hypocrite. I always liked Hollywood Brown. He was fun to watch, good receiver. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. We got a game tonight, man. We got Hall of Fame game.
Yes.
9 days. 9 days. We got the Seahawks. I don't remember who we got in the second one, but then with third game we got Detroit.
Yeah, it's that second one I can't remember because we were just talking about this on one of the most recent episodes. It's killing me.
Yeah, you looking it up?
Yeah, if I can. Oh my god. There we go. I was having trouble typing. It's the Jaguars. The team we were just talking about.
Yes, the Jaguars. And that's down there, correct?
Oh yeah. It's down there. Down there in the heat and the humidity. At least we're not starting the regular season down there.
Remember every year when they're in our division, we had them in them week one, it seemed like?
Yeah, and Tom Coughlin like, oh, we're going to make them wear the dark jerseys.
Yeah.
And like 50% of the time, it worked 100% of the time. It was like always like a 50-50 split.
I tell you, I liked the Tom Coughlin Steeler rivalry. Him and Fisher were the two that really figured out how to play us and beat us within the division when we had the Titans/Oilers and then the Jacksonville Jaguars in our division as well. I think we had 30 fucking teams in the division there for a while.
Like, speaking of Jeff Fisher, he made it to the Super Bowl, then lost, never made it back. And he went 500 like every single year.
Did he?
Him and Mike Tomlin seem to have like the same career parallel. Right. Tomlin made it to one Super Bowl. It would, up and down years, but they always found a way to get their teams at 500 to get a chance into the playoffs.
Then there was always that Jeff Fisher Bill Cowher rivalry.
Yeah, for like
they had a little bit of a playing rivalry back when they played.
Yeah.
I think Fisher played for the Eagles. Cowher played for the Browns.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of them broke the other one's leg on a special team play.
It was something like that, yeah. But they always tried to play up the rivalry, but like we always had like the better record against them. And Cowher had the better coaching record and everything.
They were always good games. The Tennessee, that organization, and then against Jacksonville, that was a game that we couldn't fucking buy a sweep when they were in our division.
It was always a split.
Yeah.
Now, which rivalry did?
It was similar to what the Ravens are now. I mean, it was one here, one there.
Yeah.
Each game were so close. They were always coming down to the end. Like there were some intense. I hated playing Jacksonville back then.
Me too. Like, which coaching rivalry do you prefer? Did you prefer the Cowher Fisher or the Tomlin Harbaugh? That's a tough one.
They're both good in their own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I prefer the Tomlin Harbaugh one.
Yeah, I
like that one. Because it looks like those two would like duke it out on the field and go for a beer afterwards, and it looks like Cowher and Fisher would have a beer during the game.
Right.
They'd be sitting there.
I guess I don't really have a preference one way or another. They were both really great coaches.
They were both great rivalries. Yeah.
Now, Now your boy Harbaugh, he wants to adopt everybody's kids and shit on the team.
Oh God, yeah, that guy. He's weird. He's weird.
By all means, everybody go reproduce. I'll take them all. Bring them.
I'll take them all. They're never mind.
House.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, hey, Harbaugh. What about the kids in the foster care right now? Not to get political. Not to get political, but let's move on.
Exactly. You take care of them kids.
Well, you know.
The thing is, like you said, it's political. He was saying what he said for a reason, to pander to whatever
Yeah, dude, you're a coach in the NFL. No one cares about your politics. Go out there and coach the game.
Right.
You're a coach. You don't move the needle.
And what was Tomlin's famous line here in preseason? You're athletes, not activists. Activists. I like it. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of the political activism in sports. I love it because it pisses people off. I love it.
I'm just not in the mood for it all the time. It's political shit is one of the things you kind of have to be in the mood for. Otherwise, it's gonna fucking piss you off, make you crazy. And I don't want to be mental over that shit. So I just want to watch football. I thrive it.
I love it.
I love score touchdowns. I want to see the guys make tackles. I want to see the guys make interceptions. I want to see the guys hitting one another. This is why I tune in.
I loved it because they had like the military paying the NFL to fly jets over and sponsor all this stuff, and players were like taking a knee, and then they were the political ones, not the league taking the money. It was just all great. I loved it all. I loved the drama because it was something more to talk about. Because half the games I didn't care about because I only care about the Steelers anymore. And with football, it's hard for me to watch any other game anymore, mainly because of the announcers. Let's get it back into sports here. I hate 99% of the national announcers.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. I like Joe Buck. He can bump off down the road.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I there's the obvious couple that I dislike, but I don't really.
Collinsworth.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
There was a sports guy, John Clayton. Remember him from ESPN?
I love John Clayton.
I like John Clayton too.
John Clayton was the best.
He was always the nerdy guy in the debate, but he was, he would say it. His shit was good.
That ESPN commercial they had with him, they gave him that ponytail and the Slayer shirt and shit.
Yeah.
Once that came out, he ate that shit up.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So football, Mike, football. There's not.
I can't wait.
Any no football until after February starts, man. We're gonna have football for months.
Yeah, football for months. Hey, how about you pontificate on football? I do have to go take care of a Ewok, because God forbid, he works on my schedule. So pontificate.
Yeah.
Pontificate.
We got football. We got 6 months of football coming up. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that I just seen yesterday that it was Tom Brady's 45th birthday. 45th birthday. I can honestly say I can't imagine this guy not playing anymore. I can't. What's going to stop him from playing the 50? What if he plays in these teams take care of him like Tampa Bay does, and they cater to him, and they keep bringing all this help in and these receivers, and every time you turn around, they're really starlighting this roster up, and you keep Tom Brady off his back. There's no reason that Tom Brady can't play till he's 50. And here's the thing: if he's playing, there's a chance that he's winning, and if there's a chance that he's winning, there's going to be a chance that he can win a Super Bowl. Did you see this, Mike?
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Tom Brady's 45.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a minute.
And like you were saying, I think I caught that at the end there. Like, if he's playing, there's a good chance they're going to win the Super Bowl, or he's going to win.
And I was saying, these teams like Tampa Bay, who wasn't anything until they brought him. So now it's a big thing. Their main thing is to protect him, provide for him, get him the weapons he needs, keep him off his back. And like I was saying, I mean, if he's still playing at 45 at this level, there's a chance he could still win at this level. And what's 5 years? The guy's almost 50, Mike.
Roger Staubach played till he was 50s. Until he was 50, and that was in the 70s when Staubach was taking harder hits than Brady is, and Brady's well protected by the league, so I can see him playing till he's 50.
I can't take any more of Tom Brady.
You know,
let's say he wins 3 more. Is that good for the game or is that bad for the game?
Hey, Bill Russell won 11, you know, as a coach and a player.
Right.
NBA kept moving along. So ever since he left New England, I've become more of a Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
Because he was down there in Tampa, he seems to have let loose more. He's not all uptight and everything. And then Belichick, he's still uptight and they're not winning. So I'm kind of liking the new Tom Brady.
Yeah, I don't mind.
He's still a weirdo, still thinking, you know, you can like drink certain type of water and not get sunburnt. He's weird. But I'm embracing Tom Brady now. The older I get, I'm embracing Tom Brady more.
It's almost the Jordan effect. Like in the 90s, everyone loved this guy and I hated him. And it was the same thing. It was just I loved basketball, but every year it was the same thing. The Bulls win, the Bulls win, the Bulls win. The guy takes time off to do, you know what I'm talking about. You have
he got caught gambling. I mean, he wanted to go play baseball, like his childhood dream.
Back, and then again, right off that count, 1, 2, 3. So it just got to that point. But later on in his career, when it was the Dennis Rodman on his team and things like that, I started to appreciate him a little bit more. I'm like, geez, oh man, you can't deny what he's done. And since I'm a basketball fan, I can't hate this guy. But it's almost the same thing. I'm getting that as well now. It's like I'm rooting for him, but in a sense, I can't. I don't know how many more Super Bowl wins I could take.
Right, but I was never a big Jordan fan. I just was never a big fan of Jordan. I don't know. There was just something about him that always rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe because I was a big time Laker fan. You know that the Showtime Lakers. Growing up, I remember them.
Zach was always my go-to guy, man.
Yeah, but now I'm talking about like I still remember like Kareem playing with Robert Ory and Magic Johnson and all those guys. I remember that was my basketball. Then the Bulls came along. I was like, I don't care anymore. I was just like over. I was not a big fan of Jordan in the Bulls because they were like the original super team,
right? And they really weren't. And that's the thing. And
they were. I'm sorry, Pippen. Jordan won nothing until Pippen got there.
Wait 1 minute. But when Pippen went to play alongside Olajuwon and Barkley and all these Clyde Drexler and Houston, they didn't win the championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they ran into the, who did they lose to? Because they made it to the finals, didn't they, that year?
Antonio. They lost to the Spurs. It was right when the Spurs started
winning. Like Kevin Duncan and
right at the end of David Robinson's career.
Yeah, David Robinson. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Not
but
Kevin
Charles
Duncan.
Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Scottie Pippen. I mean, that's a super team.
That's super team, but that was like Pippen at the end of his career. I was like all those guys towards the end of their career.
Pippen was good. He was damn good. But if he wasn't on that team where Jordan opened things up for him year after year, he wouldn't have been the same player. He had the same effect as that Antonio Brown and having another good receiver on the other side of him. It was almost like if Pippen was the guy.
Yeah, he wasn't the good guy. He was a good number 2, but I don't think they win all those championships without him.
And you figure until
I'm not trying to take anything away from Jordan. I don't think he's the greatest basketball player of all time, but I think he's one of the best. He's top 3. But I was just never a big fan of Jordan.
And until they got Rodman in the last 2 championships, it was really nothing besides Jordan and Pippen. I mean,
Jordan, Pippen, they Robert Ory, Kerr, and all they had they had a damn good supporting cast below those two.
Listen,
damn good
supporting Bill Wennington, cast. Bill Cartwright, Luke Longley.
I'm sorry, you have Phil Jackson as your coach. You have one of the greatest coaches of all time with that triangle offense. They ran that offense.
How far does that really go? I mean, the guy doesn't,
that system that they ran it to perfection, and teams could not stop it for how long? Over a decade. So
listen, Tony Kukoc was probably the next best player on the list of Bulls.
They had a good team. They like I said, they had a damn good supporting cast, and everyone played their role. They were like the New England Patriots, man, getting all those little white wide receivers, man. Everyone knew their system. Ron Harper was one of the greatest assist man in the league.
Oh, that's Harper. All to somebody else. But listen.
Yeah. You have to get it in the right spot.
Hold on, you gotta let me speak. So you got
No, I don't.
the two starting point guards over those years were B.J. Armstrong and Ron Harper. The backups were John Paxson and Steve Kerr. Again, these are people that you look back now and say these were really great guys. I watched these guys game in, game out. I watched these finals. They weren't great players. They made clutch shots. Especially Paxson in one of the championship runs. Like I said, that three-headed center. They didn't have one center good enough to start on the team. So they had what they called a three-headed center at the time. It was Luke Longley, Wennington, and Will Perdue. Once, Horace Grant, who was another good player, but again, he wasn't a Hall of Famer, he was barely an all-star player. But once he went to the Magic, that really left Jordan and like you said, kind of this bunch of misfits.
But
just good enough to do what they did.
And that goes back to the coaching, man. Like coaching in that system. Yeah, they ran it to perfection, kind of like the Packers back in the day in New England. You run that system, man.
You're right. You know what?
I'm right. I know. I think you're just saying I'm right, so I'd shut up.
Well, yes, of course. But I just seen something the other day. Rodman was there was this 2-game span. They showed the numbers. Did you see this? 0 points and 49 rebounds.
Yeah,
that was the worm. That was what Rodman
was the worm.
Did. Yes, those rebounds are huge. They're huge. You have a guy that's pulling down every offensive and defensive rebound in the game. That's huge. But scoring wise, again, that was something that Jordan couldn't pass off to somebody else because the worm just didn't score. He went into the game,
but he would shut people down though.
Oh, the defense was good.
He would shut people down, but so I saw a meme. It was
back then. That was the thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People played D back then. I saw a meme. It was like it was the worm. He was dressed up all in his drag and stuff, and the caption was like, "Hey, Dad, who's the best rebounder in NBA history?" All right, son, you see that lady over there? Let me tell you a story.
I tell you what, back in '96, and I remember because it was one of my first jobs, and I was there, and we were listening to the Howard Stern show, and I remember Howard saying that they had a big announcement. Dennis Rodman had a big announcement. He was talking about getting married, and it was this big thing. They made a big deal. They talked about it for about an hour before he came on. And it was like, we can't wait to see who he's going to marry. Dennis is keeping it this big secret. He's coming here to make this announcement, and he came in dressed in the bridal gown.
Yeah,
and he married himself.
Yeah, I love it.
Dennis was Dennis. I'm saying,
he's wild. He's still wild. He was hanging out with Kim Jong-il and stuff before he died and stuff. Yeah, wild dude. Dude's crazy. Could ball, but dude ain't right, and I love it. I'm here for it. He wasn't starring in action movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
The people want to say the 60s and 70s and 80s were wild. Nah, the 90s was wild because everyone was finally coming down from the coke high and the pot high and the LSD high. It just all flew out of their system in the 90s.
The 90s was one of the better generations. And I think a lot of people are starting to see that now that everything is so fucked up and has been so fucked up for 22 years. I think people are starting to say, you know what? Damn, their music was really good. Their musicians and artists and
because they were all smacked out of their mind on heroin
and entertainers and actors and all these people, they lasted beyond. I mean, these people they're old people now, that you're De Niro and you're Wesley Snipes and the 90s, man, it was a hell of a decade, especially as far as entertainment and things like that,
Yeah, it was. Gangster rap and grunge, man.
I got have you seen this new Subway menu?
No, I haven't been to Subway in a while.
Well, I know they were boasting. They were going on and on about this new menu and these new menu items. And I'm going to be honest, it's kind of confusing. I stopped in yesterday to get some dinner. And there's 12 main sandwiches, And the first three are 3 different steak sandwiches. The second 3 are like 3 different chicken sandwiches. The third 3 are some other kind of meat.
Yeah.
And then once you get those main 12, they're all different. Like I said, one was called like the Big Monster. And it was like the third steak one. And one was called the Mozzarella something or other. I mean, they're all new, different sandwiches. And then way, 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 way over on the right, down on the end of the menu, you have your usual things, your tuna, your Italian, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have enough time to take it all in. I thought maybe I do want to get one of these new sandwiches, try it out. But there wasn't nearly enough time to really take in. I mean, they all had the description what they were right beside the picture, and that's what I was trying to do. But my turn came way too fast, and I went with my usual. But it's different, man. You might want to check this out.
I'm gonna have to try it out because I like their meatball subs. They're really good.
Yeah.
They've got me through a lot of drunken nights. Their chicken breast sandwich is really good. But I have to check out their steak sandwiches because I love their steak sandwiches.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Because you usually get like the double steak.
I remember when I first started eating Subway, like back in the day, that was my thing. I love their steak. That was like
there's something about it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what kind of steak it is. I don't want to know the grade of the meat. I don't care. It could be the lowest grade of meat, but it tastes so good for some reason.
That's what I'm saying. Don't tell me.
I don't want to know. Like when people were all outraged. Oh, the Taco Bell meat. It's like half meat, half what. I'm like, I don't care.
I love it.
My drunk ass is just shoveling it in my face. It's helping me not be as drunk. I don't care what it is. You can make it
with the dead skin cells from one split. As long as you don't tell me, I don't give a fuck because it's delicious.
I don't care. Cut my foot off and grind it up like, let's go. Let's go, baby. I'm hungry.
So the one observation that I made when I was at Subway, now everyone seems to be going to this, Mike. It's the tip on the pay pad.
Okay, I've seen memes about this. So
they ring you up like you normally would. Mm-hmm. They turn the pad towards you, and once they turn it towards you, it has an option for like 3 different tip amounts.
Yeah.
And then underneath you could change and put your own. I skip it every time. I did it one time, the very first time I seen it, because I thought, what the fuck? So I tipped these people, and I haven't tipped anybody ever since. It's just kind of fucked up, because what are you doing that's tip worthy? What you know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is your job.
Yeah, like I'm big on like tipping for like if I'm out at a restaurant or ordering something in, I'll give you the tip. But like that's your fucking Subway, pay your people more so they don't have to do this, suffer the indignity of turning it around and looking at me who's also poor trying to tip the other poor person. No.
Subway is stressful too.
Like I kind of want to boycott Subway, but that's like, you're taking money out of the poor worker's pocket.
Right.
That's messed up, Subway. Pay your people more.
And they're and I stand in these lines sometimes. Sometimes the lines are out the door. And can you imagine? Trying to make this sandwich perfect, because the person that's ordering it and is going to stick it in their mouth in 5 minutes is staring directly at your hands as you make it, which is cool. But then you have 30 people behind them serpentining their way through that small restaurant, and you look up for 2 seconds and everyone's giving you the look, and that people they work their asses off.
They do.
I can imagine. I wouldn't want to do that.
I wouldn't, and I feel bad for them too, because they always feel like they're understaffed.
Yeah, right.
And it's not their fault.
And
everyone wants to yell at them.
It's like their face always looks like I'm understaffed. That is the look they have.
It is. I worked retail. I worked with people. I know that face. That is the I am understaffed. Please don't yell at me. If you do, I have a knife in my hand. I might jump the counter and stab you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Subway, pay your people more.
One other thing, Mike. 3 weeks. 3 weeks till the kids go back to school.
My kid's not in school, so that doesn't affect me.
This has been, and the summers always go fast, and especially when you're a kid.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say this is probably the fastest summer that I can recall that I wasn't a kid. Being an adult, man, it flew. Jeez, oh fuck, 3 weeks? 3 weeks of school?
See, to me, it's dragged. The summer has, where I work, it's hot. It's hot. It's like really, really hot. So the summer's just dragging.
You know what I really hated, Mike? I really hated that first day back at school, man.
See, that was my day. That was my day. I had my outfit picked out like a week, 2 weeks ahead, ready to go.
Well, that's the thing. You go into the school year and you have these hopes and dreams. I'm gonna
And they just
got my new
crushed.
best looking outfit. I'm gonna be, so much cooler than I was last year. And the girls are gonna be a little bit, maybe this year I'll get some more chicks. But those things don't seem to play out that way. You get that excitement for the first day, and you have these hopes and dreams that everything is going to be better, and it just never is. And I just recall that happening year after year after year until I eventually ran out of years. But you walk in that first day, and there's that smell, and you just got off of summer. You were wild. You were basically going through
You're
culture.
feral, yeah.
And all summer long, you're running around. You have scraped elbows. You have grass stained clothes. You have a smell. There's scrapes. There's bruises. And you go from this every day just going out and playing and doing what you want and hanging out with your friends to a dead halt. And then they place you in the school. You get there. It's that smell. Once I had that smell, I knew it was over. I knew summer was over. I knew this was going to be the longest 9 months ever. But like you said, yeah, you go, you have your new haircut. Haircut's looking good. You got your new clothes. You got your new shoes. There was always a fat redheaded kid that was always stepping on your shoes on the first day of school for no reason at all. You know what I'm talking about. They had a bigger head than everybody else. They never had a haircut. They always kind of had big hair, freckles everywhere. Hey, I like your shoes.
Don't scuff my Jordans.
Bedtime, you got to start.
Yeah,
I was a night owl. I would be up till 4 or 5 playing video games every night.
Yep.
And now you got to go to bed at a decent time. You're getting up with the alarm.
Yep.
And then you get to the classroom, and that's when that's when the summer break's officially over, because the teachers, they set you so far away from your friends. They had me in front of the teacher's desk, and they had my friend way in the back on the other side of the room, and you just know that you're not in your own element anymore.
Yeah.
You're not in the wild. And then they lay down the rules about talking and about these books. You got to put covers on these books. Was a big thing when we were kids. You got to get a paper bag and cover your book.
Yeah. Like that's just
they read you the riot act. If you ruined it, lost it, got it destroyed, if somebody took it, you're gonna have to pay all this fucking money. And there was just so much information that was constantly coming in at this time, and it really was. It almost seemed like a culture shock. You get in the cafeteria, and there was that ambient sound of just everybody talking all at one time, but you could never pick out a word. It was just that
just that drone going on in the background, like
I always looked forward to the fights. That was my favorite part of school, was the fights. If there was a good fight,
I couldn't wait for this. I'd always sit there and watch them. Teachers yelling at everyone. I'm like, hey, break this shit up. Man, I ain't no referee. Do I look like Judge Mills Lane? No, I'm not jumping in there.
Or what about the ones that make you go around the room and ask every kid how their summer was?
Oh my God, I hated that. Like introduce yourself.
I did nothing, but it was awesome. I slept all day long. I got up. I played video games. I ate. I just don't make me tell you this, because it's fucking horrible. I'm here.
You know what my summer vacation was? My summer vacation every year was like remodeling my house or building a swimming pool. That's all we did.
Yeah. And it was always so hot that first few days, because you weren't used to it. And we weren't, until a certain point, allowed to wear shorts. So it was always jeans or long pants on the first day of school. You're talking about the last couple of days of August. It can't be fucking hotter, Now,
see, luckily we were able to wear shorts whenever we wanted.
And like I said, it was the end of August. It couldn't be hotter. It was almost like a torture thing,
Yeah, and like
and then they did that dumb thing where you went to school a day, and then you had the 3-day weekend because of the holiday. And what a fucking bunch of idiots, man.
And by the time, just give me a full week, that first week back. Just throw me in it, like you were saying. You go like 1 or 2 days, then you're off. Like, you don't want to be there. You can tell the teachers really don't want to be there because they were enjoying their time
Right.
off. You know, they're all, under the gun of, I don't have enough supplies for my room. They got to buy it themselves. Like, no one
They
wants
always
to
had
be
a
there.
smell. The teachers had a like, what the fuck perfume was? It was like teacher
Perfume. Yeah.
you
You know how,
know?
like, there's that stripper perfume and then the teacher perfume.
Yeah.
And they're kind
Yeah.
of like side by side. We can buy them at the store.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was all these people that, like I said, you didn't play with in the summertime because you really didn't care for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were
But
there.
but it was nice though too. Like, you'd see like your friends that didn't live around, that live further out in the city and different parts of the city where you really couldn't interact. So when you got back together, that was always the good part. They're like, oh, all right, you got the boys back together, you got the gang back together. It's like, all right, let's go. Because you would make sure you like communicate over the summer, like what classes did you take, what electives did you take? All right, let's get them and hope the roll of the dice, you'd all get together, and 90% of the time it worked out. So that was always the good part.
One of the other things I really didn't like was the new smell, like the new clothes smell. And of course you remember the stories about
You and your clothes shopping.
So I mean that was just I hate that smell, and then the smell of walking into the school, and then the sight of seeing all the you just like I said, I got so used to having a
freedom.
Good summer, man. Summer was fun when we were kids, dude.
It was. It's not now.
No, these kids don't know how to have fun, man.
No, it's like summer as an adult now sucks.
Yeah.
Because you got to work. Even if you get a vacation, get a week off, and then that's not enough. That's not enough time. Because by the time it's over, like you're finally relaxed. And then you like got to go back to a soul crushing job that you don't like.
Yeah. And 3 months, what an awesome thing. You know what I mean? Who came up with that idea? What amazing.
Oh, Ryan froze. Oh, he's pontificating. Is he pontificating again? No, and he's back.
Which amazing American hero said, give these kids 3 whole months, 3 months, 1/4 of the year, and just let them do whatever they want.
No, it was like so you could like it's like so you can go
a flag and a day and everything else.
Yeah, so you can go work on the farm. Some agrarian bullshit that fucking rural people think they've ruled the country and no one gives a fuck about them. Yeah, I'm attacking you, rural people. Walk slow, talk slow. Ugh.
I gotta.
But you grow some good food, so you balance it out. You balance it out. You grow some good food.
I kind of want to start this story, but I don't know if I have enough time. I think I started telling you one of the meetings we had about my 6th grade teacher. Did I ever tell you about that?
Oh, you know what? Hey, if it's going to kill the last 12 minutes of the episode, let's do this, baby. Because I don't want to lose trivia.
Well, you're at 0-0. What does it matter?
Yeah, I don't want to start off on a losing record. The more we talk and the more we have guests on later in the episode, that's less I have to look like an idiot.
You know what?
Oh, you're going to make me look like an idiot now?
Well, I don't know if I should do it, or just it's such a.
Nah, we'll talk about it later. You seem distraught. I don't want to bring up bad memories. I don't want. This is a safe place for you, Ryan. I don't want to bring you down.
Let's just. All right, I do have a couple of things here, so I mean, it's not like we're not gonna have anything. I will. This is a story. It's going to take a while, so
yeah, we'll save it for another day. We'll save it for another day. Put that up
on the shelf, Mike.
Yeah.
My 6th grade tragedy story.
You have a lot of tragedy stories.
A lot of times these kids, they go to school and they have a good time.
Not you.
They make good grades. They're happy. They get their report cards. They cut things out. They glue things. I didn't have a good time.
Cut things out and glue things. I'm gonna see you there all angry. Fucking glue this shit. There's a fucking glitter on it.
But before we move on, I do want to say, everybody, the YNC Awards are tomorrow. Tomorrow, August 5th, down at Club Insomnia in Brookline. That's tomorrow, everybody. So get online, click on Hustler of the Year. Just go down a few names. Antoine Prime Carter. Click on that, and let's get him winning that
yes
Hustler of the Year award.
Hustler. Yes. He deserves it.
All right, so you don't want trivia, but I
We can
got
do
some.
trivia. I was just giving you a hard time.
This is a little different though, Mike.
Oh God.
I have something a little different.
I don't like I don't
Talk about going to school, starting school,
mm-hmm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
I have in front of me. I have 5 questions from.
Okay.
Who wants to, or are you smarter than a 5th grader? These are smarter than a 5th grader questions.
Probably not, because I forgot all that knowledge.
Exactly. That's where it gets fun. So these 5 questions are from the 5th grade level. They have questions on the who's smarter than a 5th grader from 1st grade, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a short list here of questions from the 5th grade level.
Okay.
So and here's the thing, and it's one thing that I observed and I noticed from the show when it was actually on, was they weren't easy. Those 5th grade questions weren't easy.
And it's stuff you learned in the 5th grade that you forgot because you only needed them for that time period.
And at the end of the day, that's what I think to myself. I really took nothing away from 13 years of school. You know what I mean? You learn your basic math, you learn how to read, but beyond that, I think everything else is just, okay.
It's a lot of critical thinking skills.
Right. You know history, okay. You know science, okay. You know this, but you need to know how to read and you need to know how to do math.
Yeah.
So beyond those 2 things, I don't really feel that I took a whole lot away from school except for negativity and negative feelings. But
let's get this over with, because you're making me depressed.
These are 5th grade 5th grade questions. I did have a whole thing I wanted to do, but we got short on time. I couldn't shut you up. I couldn't get a word in edgewise with you.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm all amped up today I'm tired, so I'm like just talkative and rambling.
All right. So I have 5 of them. Do you think that you're going to get any right?
But no, I'm going to fail this miserably.
I think you might do okay, but like I said, they're difficult. They're more difficult than an adult would hope going into answering 5 questions from.
Ooh, we'll see. I'm going to get demolished here.
No, I think you'll be all right. All right, number 1. These are you smarter than a 5th grader? Question.
Nope.
All right, number 1. What is the name, Mike? What is the name of the last queen of France? Who was the last queen of France?
Marie Antoinette.
Correct. So that was easy. Maybe you will do good. Maybe I should have told my story.
Let's do this.
This ain't good. You're doing too good. All right.
Yeah.
Number 2. You being smart's bad for this show, damn it. Number 2.
I'm not that smart. I got a good, nice surface level.
The region known as the Fertile Crescent is located in the present day blank. We're looking for an area of the world. The region known as the Fertile Crescent is located in present day blank.
Fertile Crescent. That's going to be the Tigris and Euphrates. Is that Iran? Iraq? It's in that region. It's in the Middle East.
Middle East, correct. 2 for 2.
I always loved learning about like the Tigris and the Euphrates.
Yeah, I hated that shit, man.
I love that shit. I ate that shit up.
Number 3. The modern day city of Istanbul was known by what name in the 13th century?
Istanbul to Constantinople. Istanbul to Constantinople.
Which is the one that I knew. I did know that.
Yes. And remember, people, it's nobody's business but the Turks.
Number 4. So you're 3 for 3. If you were a 5th grader, you'd be killing, man.
I'll be the smartest 5th grader out there.
3 for 3. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? We got school in 3 weeks. We're priming ourselves.
How many questions are there?
There's 100 questions. No, I'm just playing. There's 5. 5 questions.
Oh, fuck yeah, I already won. Phone this in, boys.
And we're getting ready. We're amping up. We're getting ready for school to start. Here we go. Number 4. The French and Indian War, which began in 1754, became the North American theater of what worldwide war that lasted from 1756 to 1763?
It's the 100 Years' War.
The 100 Years' War. That is incorrect. It was the 7 Years' War. 7 Years' War.
Oh, I didn't hear the dates. I wasn't paying attention. My bad.
All right. So,
And that's why the British that's why England was taxing America, because they helped defend the colonies at that time, and they wanted their money back. One of the key reasons.
I hate it here. I hate it. Listen, I hate it.
See, I hate American history, but that's like one of the things I remember.
I hated learning, listening to this in school. And I hate listening to it now. Like, even like, when we're talking about it, like you're spitting all these facts. I don't care. I never cared,
See, I could be wrong about that, but I think that's one of the reasons why we were taxed. Well, one of the colonies were taxed.
Last one. In which decade, Mike, did the Hong Kong revert from the British rule? What decade did Hong Kong revert from the British rule? We're looking for a decade, Mike.
Let's see. After World War II, England they had to put their stuff back. And World War One. So between those times, let's go to the 50s.
The 1950s. That's your final answer.
Yeah.
It is incorrect. The answer was the 1990s, Mike. It was 1997.
Holy shit.
1997. I could actually almost remember back that far.
See, I did not learn that stuff in the 5th grade about the Hong Kong and Marie Antoinette. So they've changed it from when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah. So there you have it. You got three out of 5. That's a passing grade.
Shit, man. That's some.
I think, let's say if you get 5, you would have an A. If you got 4, it would be a B.
C's get degrees, baby.
B. If you would have got 2, it would have been a D, and 1 lower would have been an F. So you got you graded like I did in school. That was
Me too, man.
graduated.
Hey, on the 9-week cycle, 2 C's and an F on your midterm gets you a C.
I think that a lot more people were like we are. They just didn't admit it. You know what I mean?
You just coasted through. You did what you had to do to get through the day. And that's what we're doing as adult life at work. We're doing what we need to do to get through the day, to go do what we want to do.
But there were these overachievers that would constantly get good grades and they would blah, blah, blah. But mostly there was everybody else, and like I said, you were in different cliques and different groups, you tend to think different, like, oh, those kids are nerds. They got to be good. But you know what? A lot of the kids that I assumed were nerds weren't really even that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just tried a little harder than we did.
Right.
Like if we would have applied like 5% more of ourselves, we would have been like that B, low A, high B student. But I was like, I tried, I did it. And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna coast.
Yeah, no, I had to do it at certain points to pass, and I did it. And you know what? When I tried, I did really well.
Me too.
It was the trying thing. It was just I had no interest, especially after you go through 13 years of these same things every year.
Like I'd see people stressing out over tests and quizzes. It's like I don't want that in my life. We're too young. We were too young to stress.
Right. No. I'm so much fun watching basketball and playing sports and hanging out with my friends and smoking cigarettes and meeting girls and just everything that goes through your teenage mind. There was no way in hell. No way in hell I was going to go home every day and do homework. No way.
I didn't want that stress. So I was like, nah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, Mike?
2 Dum Yinzers. 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head over there. We have our links to Spotify, to where you can listen to us, YouTube, where you can watch us and see me play with my beard because I'm nervous and anxious. And then we have our link
to with balls on the air.
No, I don't do that. I have too much respect for myself. No, I don't. I just don't want to.
The fuck you trying to pull?
I know, right? Link to our merchandise store there. We have our email there. You can email just about anything to us, but I don't want to see your feet pics. No. If you email them to me, I will start a OnlyFans page and post your feet pics on there. I kind of lost the plot on the website. I'm just it's a day. I'm rambling. I'm tired.
The insane ramblings of Mike.
Oh, we just need an episode where I just stream of conscious, whatever comes to my mind.
But we do want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking us out. We will be back tomorrow for the Friday show, Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. Do check us out. Tonight, our show will be hitting Spotify for the podcast version at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, check that out. Mike, you got anything before we take off, brother?
If today's episode is off the rails, tune in tomorrow for even more shenanigans from me.
Fridays are good, man. Fridays are good.
Fridays are good. The way my mind's going, who knows what I'm going to yap about.
Very true.
Very true.
But hey, like I said, we do want to thank everybody so much.
We do.
We thank every single one of you. Believe me.
We love you. I heart you all. Especially you, Karen. Especially